And welcome to Support. This video is involved in a company which primarily involves recruiting our learners. The reason I video is because there is so much love with new staff, but also to get it right and to ensure that it's disseminated across the company. Excuse. So, the session really is for you to understand the key principles of our business plan and how we operate. You can find it from and where our customers have come from, strategies, and how we're going to obviously attempt to get to the marketplace. You need to understand where the SFA funding guidelines are, so when we are recruiting learners, that we're recruiting the right learners that meet the funding guidelines. So there's no point trying to win learners over or employers over if eventually it's going to be rejected under funding. You need to understand what our learner targets are and the impact of that within our organisation and how we operate. We're going to run through what I believe is our unique service offering and understand what our unique selling points are. I want you to understand where you'll find our referrals and discount policy, because without that you may be asked questions and it's appropriate for you to know those answers. I'd like you to understand our customer service policy and understand our buy now pay later option to ensure that we're not conflicting with any legislation there. It's important you understand our education's website and our MVPort website and how you can use those as sales tools. Equally, we've developed a smart app, so it's useful if you know what that smart app is, where we have to use that as well. It would be useful for you to understand the key benefits to the employer, benefits to the learner. And like I said, this is probably just the very first one of many that we'll produce. When we we can develop customer focused videos and employers focused videos. So we've then got proper sell videos for you to use when you're recruiting. So to start off with, if you understand our plan and you're part of that, help develop that, you obviously have to know what our business indicators are. Without those, you'll struggle to meet your targets or understand the need for achieving targets. So the first thing I want to do is obviously show you where you'll find the business plans. So I'm going to go to the desktop, and from the desktop it'll just disappear for a second. Now here, so if you go to the education's website, scroll down, college log. Okay. So if you use the password that you've been provided, it will take you to our college due diligence page. In there, you're interested in the number of the strategic. That's saying that. What I need you to do as a BDM is read that and come back to me with some notes and probably some colours across it to show me that you've read it and you've understood. If you've got any problems around it, then obviously give me a call and we can discuss that. Number 4 is understanding our business strategy. Again, within the business plan forms the business strategy, and that comes really in 2 areas. We've got our funded side, which is going to be primarily the apprenticeships, and then we have our other side, which is commercial and private training. The area that we need to focus on, though, is higher education courses between 5 and 7. My vision for that is that we need to be dealing in the marketplaces where they're not already swamped. Learners that are leaving colleges who feel they can't afford to go into universities is one of our marketplaces. The second marketplace for us is going to be around working with overseas students who are looking to come to the UK but don't quite yet meet entrance criteria. So we can work with them on underpinning knowledge or QCF based. This would give them the opportunity to show the Home Office that they're genuine about their studies and a reason that they want to come to the UK. Again, I think what we miss within the bureaucracy and the red tape of international students is the fact that England is seen to be the pioneering centre of the world for education, and that most people do really want and are genuine. However, there are a handful of students out that obviously use it for other means. We don't necessarily want to attract those students. Obviously, we want to attract the students that are genuine, that do want to learn. The plan being, and again this is probably more of our long-term plan, is the fact that we will eventually go back down the overseas student route with working with student visitors, and maybe doing the 6-month courses where they come to the UK and study, rather than the long-term courses, which is where you need your tier 4 and your highly trusted status. Reason why we can't attract large numbers of students with our systems, mechanisms, and the way. Obviously, we've got huge amounts of lessons learnt from previous companies, and obviously the change in the legislation, so we don't want to get caught up in that bureaucracy at all. However, for those that are genuine, I believe that there should be an opportunity for them. Part of that business strategy might be the case of us working with recruitment agencies that are recruiting students to come to England, other countries such as Canada or America or Australia, want students to hold high-level qualifications. Again, we can offer those qualifications via the VLEs and assignment-based work. So, because we're not a university, we haven't got the overheads as a university, we're going to be far more than any of those. So, it's going to be worthwhile linking up with recruitment agencies. They could do their studies with us to get them entrances or past qualifications to help them with their visa process. So again, that's what we want to be doing under our arm of higher institute work. So lots to think about there, and again, definitely meetings to be had to draw on some of that, and obviously find learners. So our marketing strategy is again available on the website, and you can download that. But just to give you an overview of the marketing strategy, we are still in the process of just finishing off writing our leaflets for each course. We have on the internet the apprenticeship guide, which is for employers, which gives a big overview of the apprenticeship, and we also have our prospectus, so they can be found. Just to show you, so they can be found here. So there's the apprenticeship guide, and there's the prospectus. Wrong. Clearly, part of our marketing strategy is to use multimedia networks. So we have a Facebook account called Support.com. We have a Twitter account, and we now have a YouTube account. Obviously, we're open. I have a LinkedIn as well. Part of the BDM's roles really got to be to maintain the social media network, because that's going to be a huge way to network, to get learners, and to find students. What we need is a sensible approach to using that, and some confidence around using multimedia active as a resource. But you can't beat, equally, the good old face-to-face, walking around, talking to people, and trying to recruit that way. We're doing it as well is with schools, and providing opportunities to, when students leave secondary school, giving them the opportunity to work with us, and for us to find them a work placement, and for us to get them into employment for their apprenticeship. So there's a range of strategies there that we can use to help promote what we're doing, and to work in a more robust way, really. FA guidance and funding is a strange one, because if we do work with funded students, then you obviously need to under guidelines. There's no point trying to recruit learners that don't fit within the funded guidelines, because it's a fair amount of work that's not required. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the website where you can get all the funding guidance from. It is important to remember, though, that that's the SFA guidelines. That's not necessarily going to be the guidelines from the colleges. They may very well impose their own restrictions on top of what the guidelines are. However, at least if you start to read them, you'll understand the process involved. So just to show you where they are. So I'm going to go back onto my desktop. So you can see here, you go to the executive summary room for the funding guidelines. Oh, that's 2011. There we go. So whilst that's loading up, now the SFA have an area called Reading Room, and in the Reading Room you'll find, again, all the documents you need. But you need to go to the SFA website. Oh, sorry. Right, let's just... Computer's having a funny 5 minutes. Right, understand about what's in there. And again, what you might stumble across as you're looking, you may find other funding opportunities. If you do, it's definitely worthwhile discussing them with me, and then we can obviously look at other ways of into the company. Understanding our learner targets. Now, our learner targets is what we're profiling for and intent for. It's what we're saying to the colleges: if you give a contract with us, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to fulfill it. Our business strategy is part of our plan on how we're going to fulfill those targets and the team that's going to do it. So again, from the desktop then, if you go to the education website, back to college logins, and again it's there, learner targets. So download that, have a read of that, make some notes. Think that there's anything we can do to improve that, then I'd like to hear, because obviously that's what we're looking at. The page at the back, which is really around the targets and the figures, is what we need to be concentrating on to ensure that we're going to achieve our targets successfully. Educations and why us? What's setting us apart from the competition? Well, we've put together some of our unique service offers which we think makes us different from other providers that are out there. The first one is we set ourselves apart from other providers around our support and our resources that we provide our learners. We have an exceptionally useful website, which is the MV Court website, and there it covers pretty much everything that a learner could ever want or need whilst on their program. It frees up our time to spend with the learner to be doing the over and above work that makes us standing provider. We caught up with the preceding red tape of writing out lots of session plans, schemes of works, resources, or running classes, because we've streamlined that and obviously reduced our site. All of our classrooms have been written to meet the technical sets. We have classrooms there to meet the functional skills, and we have our resources. Most of the people that have seen our site have said it's a good site and that they would use it themselves, and we've had people as well if we could license. They believe that if their learners had access to that, learners will progress. It's something we'll do, but ideally I'd like to keep it for us, as that's our unique service offerings. The second point on there will be to understand the teaching and assessments that we set out in our learning plans, and obviously the way that we meet those learning requirements. We obviously set out robust plans at the very beginning of our sessions, and one of the things that we like to pride ourselves in is that we're honest with our learners, and we give our learners up front big picture. We're not drip feeding them their apprenticeship like some other training providers. We're being very open and honest what they need to do and how they need to do it. With alongside that though, we're providing them with the resources to achieve it. So it's a plan and it's a program that the learner can lead rather than it being led by this. We offer a payment plan without interest and or penalty, and there's no need for credit checks. If a learner wants to undertake a program or a course of learning with us, and that they can go on an interest-free payment plan, or we understand that these are economically challenging times for people, and one of the ways for people to improve their lifestyle is to gain qualification. I think it's fair enough to say university thing. Whilst these are times, universities triple the prices, and we've lowered ours. So I like to think that we're doing our bit for the economy, and also we have a huge untapped area there for learners that never thought that they could afford a course, and we're putting it completely within their price bracket. Those fixed prices can be found on the online shop, and again on the web app shop. So it's up to the learner how they pay for that course. What we're not going to be doing is encouraging them to or anything like that, because at the end of the day, they're paying triple for the course that we're only charging a third for. So hopefully they'll see the benefit of working with us. Not that I want to be the EasyJet or Primark of education, but a cheaper system because we have the overheads. Our college and university front really is a VLE. It's all online. The staff all work from home, so there's no overheads on offices there. So that's one way of keeping us down. Two, obviously we're very competitive with the awarding bodies that we're using, so we have a good price we're paying with the awarding organisations, keeping that price down. Three, the resources are obviously all now online, including video sessions, seminars, books, libraries. It's all there. So again, we can keep that price down. So we're not, just because we're cheaper doesn't mean we've reduced the quality. If anything, our quality is better because we can monitor it far more quickly by being remote. The other service offered, I think, is quite unique for us, is the fact that we have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week service from our tutors, and again, we can have an on-call tutor throughout the night. That's multi-sectored. So if a learner rings up who's on a night shift who wants some support, then there'll be somebody there that can provide them with that support. One of the things about inclusivity and learner involvement is the fact that we need to meet the learner's needs, not the other way around. So if you're a night worker, then fine, be a night worker, and we will support you and give you the same contact that a day person would have. You know, it's completely unfair that you're discriminated against if you are a night worker. Equally, if you're a busy mum or a busy father and you haven't got time to attend the colleges and things, well, there's no need, because obviously all of our family and online. So all they have to do is just into the appropriate time in the classroom. The last thing that really is our job offer. So we have a job offer site on the NVQ Support website where we are talking to employers. So when you're out talking to employers or talking to employers for apprentices, if they say no, then we can ask if they have any job vacancies. And if they have any job vacancies, we can advertise them free of charge. So it's a nicety to say to them, well, okay, look, staff that need training, don't worry about it, but would you like to advertise for your jobs free of charge on our website? And again, any of our apprentices can start looking at that. So the more people we get onto our websites and involved using it, the better this business is going to be. What makes us unique then when you are selling? Again, for us, we have a dedicated website for our learners, and it is a learner's website. We have our company website, which is education. That's our corporate front, and then we have our learner front, which is the NVQ Support site. And for me, it's all about learner. It's their site. They can add things onto it if they want to. They have their own forums and chat rooms where they can add and ask questions. So for me, it's about the learner being in control of the learning. We've a smart app which they can load onto their phones or via Facebook. So on NVQsupport.com site, and then go to the web apps, they can click on that, and again they can be in control of their learning via there, which is I think we're one of the fewer training providers that have created web apps for us. We obviously have is to meet all learning styles, so it's not just a case of us saying here's a workbook that's going to meet everybody. One of the things our assessors are instructed to do is an assessment around learning needs and identifying the assessment method rather than the other way around. Once we've identified the learner's needs, we can then identify the resources that's going for that learner. Like I said, we do have an overall range of resources, and for a learner that might seem slightly intimidating. So our assessors can obviously select use of learner, print out handbooks and DVRs for them, or alternatively setting up online video lease site. The range is there and the choice is there for the learners. Providing IT support is obviously an important factor. With everything going remotely and having web apps and computer apps and all of this lot, one of the things we have found in the last couple of months is that learners will use my computer's not working as need to get out of work. One of our unique selling points is the fact that we have a resource called in-house services, where we can dial in and any of the computers or their basic issues. We can screen the computers, ensure they haven't got any viruses on there, ensure that they've got the up-to-date software. We can't buy software for them, obviously. We can signpost them to download apps, so we can signpost them to download the up-to-date Adobe, the up-to-date Flash. If they can't open documents, things, we can update readers and things like that for them. So we can fix most issues, so that's important. Obviously we have our student card with the NUS, and the students get 10% discount if they apply for that card. That gives them their student discount card, so if they want to go out nightclubbing or shopping, they have discounts on that at most places, and if you take your ID card you get free fries. It's always an interesting one. You know, I think some people look at that and go, oh, it's a rip-off. Just for example, I have one because obviously I'm always on a continual learning program, and at Christmas I went to one shop and I saved £20. Well, it only cost me 12 quid, so I saved £20 in one go, and that's without the whole uses within cinemas and things. So I don't understand why people wouldn't want one. It's their choice. But also it gives them reduced discount on software. So if you wanted to buy Windows and things at the normal price, about £150, the student version you get for about 50, 60. So it's a huge saving for the sake of spending £12. We're going to be providing feedback within a maximum of 7 days. So if you do submit work, you're not going to be sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting. I know most other virtual learning steps take 10 days. We're going to have ours replied within 7. And again, we have a ticket system for that, so I can monitor and see when work's been submitted and how long it's taken to be marked. Equally, we're going to respond to emails hopefully within 24 hours on a business day and Friday. They should be responded to within 24 hours. We're looking to undertake routes for our students. So if they're doing the level 3, their next progression is clearly level. Sorry, if they're doing level 2, the next progression is clearly level 3. If they're on a level 3, then we would like them to go on to do a higher apprenticeship. Once they've achieved a higher apprenticeship, we would like them to university pathway routes. And that may be one of our schemes where we're up to the level 7 awards, or it may be one of the ones where we have a partnership agreement hopefully in place, particularly with the universities like Warwickshire, Leeds or Derby. We're looking to support, again, it's in our plan that all our staff actively do this. So it's some membership and professional identity. If you've worked hard for your qualification, then it's only fair enough that you get the recognition and the identity that goes with it. So all of our programs from level 5 and above will entitle them to some kind of membership, be that through CIPD, the Institute for Leadership and Management, or the Institute for Lifelong Learning. Will help them gain their QTLS or Atlas status on completion of their awards. We offer online classrooms, so there's obviously no need to apologise, it's study at your home. We offer the class 2 times a day, so at a 10:30 and a 6:30. If they miss either of those, the session's recorded anyway, so it'll be downloaded and it'll be put onto YouTube, which is our site. And again, they can then watch that from there. Finally, all of our apprentices between the age of 16 and 24 will be given a smart pad for them to do their VLE studying on. The reason we're going to be providing the 2 reasons. One, because one of our core values as a company is to improve ICT skills. 2, for complete inclusivity, so it doesn't matter which background you come from, you'll be given the pad anyway. And obviously 3, because we want the learners to have access to their course without being disadvantaged, so we'll obviously provide them with them. It's a bit of an incentive carrot as well. If the learner progresses and achieves their qualification, they can complete their iPad. Obviously, if they decide to roll, then we want the iPad back. So it's kind of as simple as, if they don't give it back, then obviously we have to go down the kind of more formal route for claiming losses. But they'll be aware of that when they come, the fact that they are on loan until they complete their course. Once they've completed their course, then they're theirs to keep. So it's a bit of an incentive for them anyway. Our referrals and discount schemes, again, we have a referrals policy, and if a learner refers another person, if they've done a course for more than 8 weeks, we'll give them £50 high street vouchers. If they want to, they can swap that £50 high street voucher for £100 HE course vouchers. They can double the value. So if they wanted to work towards their level 7 in management, they could collect the vouchers, and obviously it then pays for the level 7. So our level 5 to 7s are between 1,100 and 2,000. So if they refer 20 people, that's the equivalent to their masters paid for. Now I should imagine if you ask most people at their masters in management how much it cost them, I bet it costs a lot more than a referral of 20 people. So I think that's a real kind of no-brainer there. As an employed business development manager, you'll receive £100 for a learner who you sign up. If that learner you sign up then becomes a referral or a referrer, you then get the £50 that they've referred that person for. You can, though, also engage with your own team. You can set up course advisors, and we're calling them course advisors because what they are, they're advising people about the course you have on offer. Brackets stuff. Obviously, they'll be paid £50 for each person that's successfully signed up, and for that you get £50 is signed up. So what we're looking at there is you have an incentive to motivate and develop your team, and they have an incentive to obviously find the learners. How you get that to you. However, if you do take on course advisors, they need to have a full induction, a bit like this one. Work and that people will need to be signed off. Will obviously need a photo ID, and they'll need to follow the HR strategy for that. So if you do have people, for the moment, I'll be leading the BDMs and be the director of BDMs as well at the moment. So I've appointed a director of BDMs, then obviously that'll be their decision. Okay. We have a customer service policy that's on our website, and again, you need to make yourself aware of that. So I'll show you where that is. So from the desktop, so if we scroll down, that's our customer service policy. Okay. Understand a buy now pay later offer. Again, I think that's going to be one of the unique about what we're doing. We're not out to rip people off. It's not about taking money and leaving people out of pocket. The only rule we have around the buy now pay later is the fact that they obviously need to pay 10% of their course fees, or a minimum of the registration fee, so we can get them registered with the award and AO. They need to pay their fees in full before they're certificated. So for them, there's no real risk. They're just going to keep going until they finish the award and obviously finish. Obviously, it is a contract as well to pay that amount. So whether they finish the course or not, either here or there, they'll end up having to pay for it in full anyway. So then they'll be silly not to finish it. Unlike the Open University, who I did a course through, and I asked for a bit of time, they were like, well, maybe. And to be fair, it was quite expensive, and then I couldn't finish it due to work commitments, so I still had to pay for the course, despite the fact that I was begging to finish it, and they wouldn't give any extensions on those dates. So it's I'm thinking we've got a bit of flex there. We understand that people's lives are busy, and that's a way around it. But let me just show you where you'll find the payment offers there. So again, back to the website. So payment information. So you'll find that information in there. Okay, so understanding our education website and our NVQ support websites as sales tools. What I'll do is flick over to the education site first so people can see what it is we've got system for sales wise, and then we'll go over to the resources that you can then use. So I'm going to flick back over to the desktop. So if you have someone that's interested in a course, you could say to them, what would you like to do? And down here, there's a couple of things that we can do. First of all, they could download the prospect and have a read of that. Or alternatively, they might go, I want to do teacher training. So you go, well, okay, let's click on teacher. And the options are there. Now, what we have is the qualifications are there listed. If they want to do that and they just add it to cart, nothing's going to happen at that point. It just adds it to cart. What they then have to do, count. Oh, need to remove the ones that I had before. And then they can just check out. Okay, that will then take them to the checkout page where they can pay for the course if they wanted to pay for the course. Now, say for example they wanted more information, could click on the level 5 and it takes them to the body site, and in there then you can talk to them about the qualification and say that we need to do here, so that's what they need to do, they're the units, that's the evidence, that's the product sheet, so they can see what it is. Now the price that they see here is the deposit price that they'll need to pay. That's the registration fees. Okay. So that's how to use the education site as the sales point. If they then go, well, okay, how is the course taught and all of that lot, you can then say to them, well, okay, go to the student website, and it takes them to the student website. And in there, you can then just run through everything with them. And on the more bottom, under educations, here, how to use the Smart app, how to attend the click meetings, about their learners' journeys, how they're going to get IT support, how the classrooms work, and how we'll review their process. And that's how to use the website. So they've got little videos there on all the how-tos. So you really need to be a massive expert around the qualifications, because obviously the qualifications links themselves will take you to the award and body shop, follow what that says really. The prices are on the shop, so that's absolutely fine. And then finally the resources are there on the MVQ side. Hopefully that works. Now obviously we've got the web app as well, and if they go onto the Facebook, they can obviously download the web app. So we'll I don't know if that's on there, but we can have a look at that in a second as well. Oh, there you go, Smart app. So I'll show you on this to try to get it in the store so you can download it from the store. It goes across 7 platforms. So it goes across BlackBerry, Apple, iPhones, which are Apple, Windows, Facebook, and a couple others that I've not heard of. But I'll just show you the Facebook version, and then obviously if they've got a QRS reader they can scan it from the site. So if you click on desktop, so the first place that they could go to is our home page on Get Ahead at Work, and they could scan the reader there if they wanted to. Alright, sorry about this, let me just close that. Right, now the other place that they could go to is let's just have a look. So Facebook, they could go to, I have no idea who those people are. That's my Facebook page. Now where is the MVQ? Ah, there you go. So what they could do, if they go to the MVQ support site there, they could click on the web app. So they can obviously like the page, follow it hopefully, but if they click on the web app, it takes a second to download. And this is what it looks like on the phone. When you download it on the phone, this is identical to what it looks like. And once they've got it, you can then say to them they've got education on the go. So they've got information there about us, information about the courses. So there you go, that's information about all the courses there. So they can click on any of those. We've got the shopping, so if they wanted to do the teacher training, for example, like we just we need to scroll down. Teacher training, and there's 8 courses in there, and there they could scroll down and just click on that, and they can obviously add that to the cart. There you go, so it's actually added to your cart. Oh Lord, no, sorry. Don't get Windows 8. It's just a nightmare. So there, if they click on that, it takes them to their cart to pay, and you can continue, and that takes you to the shop. So if they wanted to know when their classes were, the webinar dates and times are there, so they can click on any of those that they want to attend, and it tells you the date and the time of the class. So the web app has got loads of things on it, which is, you know, it is a unique thing. It's relatively new for us. We're still trying to get our heads around it as well. But I think for the learner, it's a unique thing. So there's 2 ways that they can scan the QRS reader or download it from Facebook. Understanding the benefits here, well, I'm going to run through all of those. You can have a read of them. But obviously, to the employer, there's lots and lots of material out there, why they should, etc., etc., etc. I think the one that's probably, you know, why portfolios, why VLEs, again, that's all there. Understanding benefits, obviously the learner wants to know what's in it for me, why am I going to study with you, blah, 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 blah. So you got, but ultimately it's about you gaining your confidence in the stuff that you're going to tell them. So from a business development point of view, clearly there is a huge amount of information there for you to get your heads round and obviously start to develop some kind of plan to get those numbers in and up. Until we've got a contract with the colleges, obviously what we're probably more interested in is on the private sales side. So start talking to managers and obviously get in, because you can talk to anybody at that point, getting those sold. Think about other marketing strategies. The one I was going to talk to or show you was a company that we will, or who likes us. Um, now, I think... Was it under there? Somewhere yesterday I was looking at... recent? I don't know. Don't know. Following. The company last night that I was on here looking at, and it was a company in London who had liked our page, and they basically were an international recruitment agency for students. So what I will do, I will try and find that again, because I can't see it on here, and obviously we can try and contact people like that, because that might be useful. So rather than me carry on looking for something that I can't find, probably we'll just call it a day there. So I'm sure as BDMs you're going to have lots and lots of questions. What might be useful is to arrange an online meeting sometime next week after you've come up with some kind of strategy and plan, and obviously let's see how we can launch educations with the resources that we have out about the standards that we're going to deliver, and the products that we have. Hopefully you found that to be of some use, and I will look forward to working with you all in the near future. Thanks a lot. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.